Hey nerds, a lot of people have been asking me to elaborate on the video that I put out yesterday. And the reason why I didn't go into detail originally and just said that we're not going anywhere for anyone who has seen streams and seen what we have been going through, um, that we definitely were attacked. It wasn't our ISP. And we're taking precautions moving forward, but we're still going to be streaming. Now that I know that none of those things are going to be countered, or at least not quickly or effectively, I can tell you guys exactly what's been going on for about the past month and a half, things that I've experienced in game and outside of game. I'm not sure if any of these things are actually connected and or led up to what happened with the DoS and the issues that we were having via stream. However, all of these things did happen sequentially. And it's super unfortunate. And I'm only telling you guys because I don't want it to happen to you. So you can see warning signs, things like that, and possibly be able to prevent it and or get rid of something if it does come your way. So thank you guys so much for everything. I keep looking at my video and seeing how good the lighting is, but today I'm starting with my Harry Potter mug, some coffee that has pumpkin spice, possibly spiced whiskey, and some whipped cream. And I'm ready to tell you guys about it. So stay tuned. So I'm going to start from the beginning, and again, I don't know how much of this is relevant, but right before I started streaming Guild Wars 2, probably a week before, I was still streaming Final Fantasy XIV because that was the game I came from, and all of a sudden my phone started going berserk, and I was getting a ton of missed calls from all of these places, asking for a specific person, talking about Medicare and Amazon purchases and all of this stuff. And I didn't think anything of it. I was thinking, okay, yeah, people get calls like that all the time, just, scam people, whatever. And then it started increasing every day, 20 to 30 calls. And then I was getting voicemails and then text messages, and it was the same place, and it was always asking for the same person. And so that led me to believe that my phone number was actually compromised. Um, I don't know how much stuff that affected. And again, I don't know if it led into anything that happened afterwards. However, that was something that we had experienced at first. And what's really unfortunate is the only way to counter that, really, is I have an iPhone. And one of the options on the iPhone, which is actually really cool, but also kind of detrimental, is that any number that is not saved in your contacts can be automatically silenced and sent to voicemail. Now, that would be nice, except that A, I always forget to put people's contacts in my phone, and I just will like text a number for forever. And B, there are people who I'd actually trusted from when I started to stream that I don't know if it could possibly have been them. C, I actually had a not so great relationship that I don't know if it was that person. And D, I have grandparents that like to use home phones, and their cell phones are in my phone, but their home phones are not. And I actually had an instance with my grandma where she called and then texted me and told me to turn my phone on because she thought it was off because she was sent straight to voicemail because she called from her home phone. And I felt so bad because I was like, Grandma, I'm having this issue with scammers. And she's like, everybody has issues with scammers. And I'm like, no, I get like 60 calls a day. And she's like, oh. So that's a great feature. But again, those things, were kind of affected because of it. And then the only other thing I could do is change my number, which I probably will anyway, because my cell service is really expensive and I don't necessarily use it because I stream or I'm home all the time. And if I do use it, I'm going to use it for work for the business that we have. So I'll probably be getting like prepaid card stuff anyways and changing my number, but it still is really irritating. And that's when everything started. So after that, started to play Guild Wars 2. Was not expecting the increase in viewership, subscribers on both Twitch and YouTube that I got. And I was super excited. And because the stream was growing and I was really excited to have a guild and everything, we had a lot of people that were interested in modding the stream, checking out officer things and whatnot. And when things started really being kind of unfortunate was, and I don't blame Guild Wars 2 community at all for this, ArenaNet, whatever, but I had someone who was starting to be very pushy, who was whispering me, DMing me, DMing and whispering my fiance behind my back, trying to get him to pay to change servers, trying to do officer things in the guild that he wasn't supposed to, um, being all offended that he was not a mod in my stream, asking if he really would have to fill out applications or talk to me outside of stream to become a mod, setting stuff up in my stream without even asking me and saying that it was essentially sanctioned by me. And then also doing that to other people in game. And he essentially would keep pushing and wouldn't give you a choice and overstepping his bounds quite a bit. And it got to the point where it was like he was trying to take over my stream, and take over the guild. And I wasn't having a lot of fun playing the game. And so I ended up informing him and telling him, repeatedly that I wasn't interested in what he had to offer, that my fiance wasn't interested in what he had to offer, and that it's very disrespectful to go behind people's backs and do that. And finally, it got to a point where I just blocked him from everything. And in retaliation, this person, after already making my in-game experience kind of crappy and taking my attention away from streams, which I knew was going to happen because obviously things were getting bigger, which was amazing. And we were just getting Twitch partner and ANET partner stuff, which was amazing. And it's like, yeah, we're going to have to start looking at things like this now, and things are going to happen. But it got to the point where, again, we got rid of him. And he sent me in-game mail and was trying to blackmail me. Said that I took stuff from him and that I took gold from him and deposited it into the guild bank and all of these things, and pretty much that he was just going to report me to ANET for absolutely nothing, pretty much just because he was upset that I blocked him. And what's even funnier is I thought I was being nice about it because I didn't tell anyone who it was. I just told people, if it seems like someone is harassing you, it seems like someone is being too pushy, it seems like someone is pressuring you to spend real money to transfer to further their guild, or do certain things on your stream that would benefit this person without him having to put in any actual work except essentially poaching you, to let ArenaNet know, or to let like a guild officer know, or whatever. And I thought I was being nice again because I didn't mention any names in Discord. I just said that we had an issue. There have been people who have been blocked or banned. So now I'm changing it so that only officers can invite people, when originally it was members, but now we have over 200 people. So it's kind of like almost ground control to begin with, damage control rather, to make sure that things don't get too out of hand, don't get too inflated, whatever. And then he sends me that mail. And first of all, I never took anything from the guy. And secondly, you can actually see who has deposited stuff into the guild bank, and it's literally just me and my fiance. So, and what's even better, and what started actually before all of these things happened that we thought were internet issues, is someone clipped me reading that in-game mail and just deleting it because I, saw something negative and it was already gone, and I didn't inform ANET, and I should have. And I didn't inform Twitch, and I should have, but again, I was trying to be the bigger person. And that happened, and someone clipped it. So I don't know if it was that person or one of his friends or whatever. And again, I don't even know if all of these things are connected. And I don't know if this has anything to do with the attacks on my PC or the DoS or whatever. But shortly after that, I started having PC issues. And it was to the point where it seemed like my ISP was dropping out every time I was streaming. And it would my upload would go down to 0. And then it would go back up, but it would take like 10 minutes to get back up. And I pay for like 400 download, and like 35 upload. And realistically, I only stream at 6 Mbps upload, like 6K and bitrate. And my download speed after going through just one of my firewalls was still ridiculously high. Like, it shouldn't have been affected. But we called the ISP and they said there was nothing on their end. And for a month this went on right after this clip. And my fiance and I are just thinking it's something with the ISP, it's something with my PC. So we reset my operating system. and completely cleared everything and only re-downloaded certain things. There was barely anything on my PC, and it still happened. And we got a new modem and a new router, and it still happened. And my fiance called our ISP, and nothing was wrong with our network. We had a clear signal except for anytime we'd reset our modem, because that seemed like it was helping before stream. And there were multiple streams that were either interrupted for at least 20 minutes sometimes, where people could hear me, but my video wasn't being uploaded. My upload speed just crashed. And sometimes streams would just completely crash and it would just be done. And I would feel so upset because I'm like, there's nothing I can do. I don't know what it is. This has only been happening for the past month. It didn't happen previously. It didn't happen when I played 14. It's not the game. It's not the game settings. My PC is, not terribly new, but all of the specs are really good. I have a Ryzen 7. I have an AB350 motherboard. I rock a 1050 Ti, but it's not dead, and it's better than what some people have. And so we couldn't figure out what the issue was, and we were throwing parts at everything. And then the other day for stream, my fiance had started looking into all of our own personal network stuff. And so it wasn't being affected on the actual big network for the ISP, but it was affecting our network. And we were getting hits for DoS attacks and scans of ports and DoS attacks and scans of ports. And then the moment that my stream started to die, we were just getting hit with pings every second. And so it was like a DoS that wasn't actually attacking our internet. It was like attacking our upload speed or just pinging our network enough to just the point where it couldn't work. It just couldn't work. It could work for us to surf the web. It could work for us to be in game if we were playing Guild Wars 2, but I couldn't stream. And so yesterday, and Eddie's barking downstairs, I had put out the video saying that we were going to take all of these precautions, that we called the police department, because we're over here going, if this isn't just something random, which obviously DOS happens all the time. It happens a lot for Guild Wars 2, apparently. I just found out. And we were nervous because we're like, we just started a business, there's a lot of things that we have to take into consideration. So, we got the police department notified just in case. And we're going through all of this stuff. And then we also find out that that when we called our ISP, because we figured out what the issue was, because we wanted to reset our IP address, we wanted them to do it, they wouldn't do it. They told us to get a new modem and router, and we're like, okay, we did that, but it still went back to our static IP. It didn't change. And she's like, well, you have to do it again. What? So he gets off the phone with this woman who was no help whatsoever. None of, obviously you can't help with a DOS, but there are certain things that if you do have the ability to reset an IP for someone or give someone a new IP, you should be able to. And they were just being lazy. And she was actually talking down to my fiance as well, which is absolutely ridiculous. And so we go to actually swap out our modems again, because now we have two. So we were just seeing if we swapped them out again, if it would change our IP, because we knew that would help fix the issue. And so that we could stream today, so we could get everything set and stream. And we find out that there's intermittent outages in our area today. So we couldn't even activate our old modem and router because of that, but we actually figured out how to get everything all set and reset the IP. So we have that. We have our new IP. We have VPNs for when we need them. We have extra firewalls. We now have extra security on our PCs. Nothing is able to download or upload in the background. That's how ridiculous our firewalls are. Again, everyone has been notified. I will also be letting ANET and Twitch know, because I don't know where my IP was picked up, and I don't, again, know if it's relevant, but I will be notifying them, and I will actually be talking about this person who did harass us and then blackmail us. And I should have done it originally, but again, I didn't, because I thought it would just be done. And I don't know if it was this person, but I should have reported them to begin with, so I'm going to. But yeah, so we ran a ton of tests, and it actually took us from yesterday to the end of the day. And then this morning, from when we got our IP done from like 10 a.m. until like 6 p.m. to get everything set in stone, get all of the settings that we wanted, have as many people notified as we could, and make sure that our PCs are completely protected. So we've run a ton of bandwidth tests. We know what everything can handle. We know that everything's good so far, but the attacks were only happening when my stream went live and not even for an actual stream test on like Twitch Inspector. So I think that since we have everything changed, if it does happen, it'll take a little while to happen again. But since everyone was asking, and again, I'm sorry that Eddie was barking this whole time. But everything should be good. And we're not planning on stopping stream. We're not planning on stopping content creation. We're going to keep moving forward with everything that we wanted to do for our business. We're not going to be scared away. And hopefully, if anyone comes across anything like this in game with what I've dealt with, or wants to know any network ways to look at something or log something or check stuff, you can definitely ask us now. Or especially my fiance, he really knows how to look at that stuff now. And the other thing is too, we're able to track stuff. So if we can track things now to certain domains, if stuff keeps pinging our server, we will be tracking them and we will be notifying those domains. So we will actually be taking action with that too, because this is what we do for a living. And I've felt like a complete jerk having to stop stream or having stream die out. So hopefully everything is fixed. And if it's not, it could possibly just be ISP blips in the future, updates, things like that, normal things. But we're still planning on moving forward with our organization. So if people are interested, let us know. We're planning on moving forward with publishing and doing stuff for our game studio. We're actually working on stuff for a mobile game right now. And I know I said this yesterday, but I will be back to stream tomorrow. The only reason that I wasn't today was we were finished setting everything up. And because of the outages that we had with Spectrum today, we weren't able to get things done in a timely manner. So thank you guys so much for all of your concern. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us and all of your kind words on my last video. And hopefully we never have to talk about this again. So yeah, thanks a lot, you guys. Love you guys. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow so we can continue our journey to 80. It'd be amazing. See you at the next one.